José Mourinho is back at Real Madrid, and the most revealing thing about his return isn't a tactic or a signing. It's a number he keeps repeating in private. 20, as in, a squad of roughly 20 players, tightly defined, at a club that has spent years collecting talent by the fistful. Here is the first thing people get wrong. Most fans assume a new Real Madrid manager means a new attacking system, something flashier than before. In theory, more star signings should mean more spectacle. In practice, Mourinho looked at a dressing room built for talent and decided. The actual problem was never a shortage of gifts. It was the absence of a shape to hang them on. This sounds simple. It is not. Madrid didn't arrive at this point by design. They arrived by attrition, cycling through Carlo Ancelotti, then Xabi Alonso, then Álvaro Arbeloa, ending a season with the league gone to Barcelona and the club's entire identity in question. Mourinho's answer is unfashionable and completely his own. You don't outdazzle a champion. You out-organize it. Here's where it gets interesting. Reports around the club confirm Mourinho is building his side in a 4-2-3-1, anchored by a genuine double pivot, with Aurélien Tchouaméni holding the deepest central role. That single decision, a double pivot, sounds unglamorous, but it's one of the most consequential calls a coach can make. It gives the fullbacks license to push forward without leaving the middle exposed. It gives the center backs a permanent screen behind them. And it changes what the front players are actually allowed to do, because it changes what they're asked to do without the ball, whether you like it or not. This new structure gives every attacking player a defined job for the first time in years. Kylian Mbappé becomes the central reference point the whole shape is built to feed. Vinícius Júnior returns to the left touchline, the position where his first touch already faces goal. Jude Bellingham slots into the number 10 role just behind Mbappé, a role he's reportedly thrilled about occupying. And on the flanks, Mourinho is using asymmetric fullbacks, giving the right side, whether that's Trent Alexander-Arnold or new signing Denzel Dumfries, considerably more attacking freedom than the left. There is also a financial detail that shows just how serious this rebuild actually is. Madrid broke from years of cautious transfer policy this summer, spending heavily on the profile Mourinho specifically requested. Ibrahima Konate and Marc Cucurella arrived to strengthen the backline. Bernardo Silva came in for creativity in midfield, and more than 125 million euros went toward winger Diomande alone, a signing significant enough to reshape the entire attacking structure around him. And here's what makes this genuinely worth watching. Everything downstream of that double pivot, the counterattack that arrives in 4 clean passes, a lead protected without panic late in matches, depends entirely on 2 disciplined midfielders holding their position. It is control, not chaos, being sold as the actual philosophy. And after 2 trophyless seasons built on tactical uncertainty, that might be exactly the unglamorous thing this specific Real Madrid squad has actually been missing. So the next time you watch Real Madrid this season and the shape looks tighter, more deliberate, less like a highlight reel and more like a machine, remember the number 20 and the manager who decided that organizing genius mattered more than collecting it. If breakdowns like this help you see the tactics underneath the transfers, subscribe, because the real story behind every rebuild almost never starts with the flashiest name. It starts with the shape nobody notices until it starts winning. You're welcome.